Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So in a previous video I had mentioned that whenever the appropriate time comes, I'll introduce this Nuxt UIKit module, and this is what we're pretty much doing in this video here. So this module was created just to make it much simpler and much easier for us to configure or use UIKit with Nuxt.js. They do have an example here, but as you can see, if you have looked into this before, you notice that there's quite some amount of configuration you need to do. As a result, it's a bit of a turn off. At least for me, I wanted to have a pretty easier way for us to actually integrate UIKit with Nuxt.js. Nuxt.js is an awesome framework. I really like it. And UIKit is just the same, and it's extremely lightweight. And when it comes on to page loading and speed and all that, it's something that you really want to do when you're developing front-end application or basically websites. So in this video, I'll pretty much just be looking at an installation of how we would install it and configure it. And it's pretty simple because we have all of the setup right here. Very, very simple to do. So that's pretty much it. A basic UI kit module for Nuxt.js. So let's jump into it. I am going to cd into my projects directory. I think we are in YouTube and view. I have two folders in here. I have a Nuxt UI kit. I have a Vue 3 UI kit, which I think is the last video that I uploaded. And the Nuxt UI kit, I don't really remember what that was for, to be honest. But we're gonna skip over that for now. What we're going to do is do a yarn create Nuxt app, which is a command for us to create Nuxt app. So that's it, and I'm gonna call this one Nuxt UI kit app. And I press enter, so now it's going to go ahead and put this thing together before it gives us the configuration questions. All right, there we go. So the project name, sure. The application in its second release actually gave us TypeScript support to a good extent, and so we can use whichever one of these and it will work perfectly fine. For simplicity, I'm just gonna go with JavaScript. I use Yarn for the most part. We're not going to be using any UI frameworks because we're going to be adding our own. Hopefully at some point maybe we could get UIKit somewhere on this list right here, or this module on the list right here. So let's go ahead and click on none. Then we're going to be using HTML, and here we won't be using any modules other apart from the one that we're going to be installing. And right here, linting tools, we won't be needing any of those, at least not for now. No testing frameworks, and it's going to be an single page application. And this is quite important because there is the issue that I had highlighted in a previous video, which I'll either link in the description or leave in a card, where you'll know that the JavaScript really for the icons work primarily on the client side, and as a result of that, whenever a page refreshes, it may take a while for the icons to load, which is something that I've been looking at addressing, and it's something that this Nuxt UIKit module is also trying to address. So let's continue with single page application, and we're going to be using Jamstack hosting or static. So that's what we want, and we won't be configuring any of these. I'm going to be using Vim for the editing, and let's just correct username and Git sure, because I may just upload this to the Git account or GitHub account, I should say. Alright, so now that that's done, took a little bit. I'm gonna cd into our nuxt-uikit app project, and what we can do here is to pretty much do a yarn dev. I think you guys already know what the nuxt-uikit project looks like, but just for the sake, we'll just open it. So this is what the normal application would typically look like, and it doesn't have any additional pages. So what I'm gonna do now is, let me just clear this out. The first thing is, as we have in the instruction, is for us to install it pretty much as a dev dependency. and that's because we're going to be pretty much building it with a project, so we can just install that in there. And it is also recommended that you install as dev dependency most of these, I guess, UI tools, or I think it's something that is recommended by Nuxt as well. So we're going to do a yarn add, and we're going to be adding Nuxt UIKit, and we're adding that as a dev dependency. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, there we go, and that install really quickly. So if I cat the package JSON file, you'll notice that we now have a dev dependency of nuxt-uikit 2.0.2, and that's in there. And the next thing that we need to do is to configure our Nuxt config file. So if I now go here and go down to the modules, so we're looking at build modules. At least for this one, we're using build modules. In the next, whenever we move to view Nuxt 3, I think they primarily focus now on modules instead of the build modules. But for this one, we're going to be using the build modules. So we'll add UI kit. Well, it should be Nuxt UI kit actually. And that's that. So let's go ahead and save that. I am going to quit this out, but the only way for us to really know that this thing is actually working is obviously for us to add a page. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the example file that we have here, or the example, and just go to this page, and I'm going to copy everything that we have in here, so including this alert notification function that comes with UIKit as well, which is a pretty awesome thing. And you have to actually manually do this if you're using the alternate way to actually install this. If you're using this way that they have to install it, you have to configure that variable. We've already done that in this UIKit module. Let's go ahead and vim pages pages index.view, and I am going to go ahead and paste this. So I'm gonna go ahead now and just paste it right there. There are a couple of things that I need to just get rid of out of this, so let me go ahead and do that now. So delete those, and what was at the top, so we want to delete those as well. So now we actually have the correct information in here, so I can go ahead now and save that, and let me quit out of here. I'm gonna clear this, and now we can do a yarn dev, and we're pretty much just restarting the server with the updated information that is in here. So now if we go here and do a refresh, you can see that we have UIKit installed, and we're getting this notification I had showed you guys just now. And additionally, you can see that the icon reloads on time. We're getting a notification on mount, or I think on created, and just all of this information. So again, that's pretty much it. You can see how simple, or extremely simple, that was for us to actually install this module, as opposed to the configuration that we have to do from here if we're using this way. So I'll go ahead and create a video that will look on the comparison, or comparing both of these, how we would do it, both of them, as opposed to using the UIKit module, which is something I strongly recommend that you guys to go ahead and try out, and leave your comments and let me know what you guys think of it. If you have any feedback or any issues, you can leave that here. Anything that you see that needs to be updated, you could git clone and do a pull request as well. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.